Right, so welcome to this unique video for the channel. We're going to take a look at Harlequins here. Just been working on the new army to a stage where I've got a list I'm pretty happy with. It's taken ages and ages. Trying to look up, see, Harlequins I think is a very neglected faction within 40k. It's a shame because the models are so nice. Lovely theme, colour schemes are superb, and a very sort of nice play to the army. It seems like an army to have fun with when you use them. But because they seem to not do very well, or people perceive that they don't do very well, they're very neglected indeed. You hardly ever see a Harlequin army, and it's a shame with all the new models and so on that have come out. So I'm working on a list and working on an army at the moment. It'll be a pure Harlequin army, so 1850 points, and I think it will be an army that should do pretty well on the channel, mid-table easily, if not pushing up beyond that. But trying to research it, there's hardly any battle reports out there, hardly anybody talks about Harlequins, and yet such a fantastic looking army. The miniatures are incredible, very nice. The new plastic stuff's amazing. So keep a lookout for Harlequins. Developing them at the moment on the Plus channel. You can check that out there. You'll see some of the advanced tacticals already, and then as time goes on with the new units, there'll be more tactical videos for them. There's an army development video where I go through and propose the new army list, and then talk about the different changes and things that could be done with that. Subscribers can then leave their feedback, and that sort of change the army around based on that. So working on the list is pretty much finalised, I think. Nice theme, chosen my colours. So at the stage where I'm building the miniatures and then getting into the painting of them. I haven't painted Harlequins for years and years. I've got some of the old lead models, and then that's painted a unit of 8 of those, got one of the old Shadowseers, and then left them for years, and then now new codex, new models sparked a whole interest in them. Great allies for Elder and so on as well, but really determined to do pure Harlequins and try and make a success of them. So this is what the video is for. It's to try and make a success of using Harlequins. I'm going to share a few tricks that I think will work if they're legal to do. I want it to be an army of trickery, an army that has tricks up its sleeve. The opponent looks at it and thinks, oh yeah, I'll beat them, no problem, and they pull out some strange tricks that are perfectly legal and fine within the rules and fit the theme of Harlequins. And by trickery and deception and being clever, which matches the style of these guys anyway, you can then achieve victory in that way. So you're outnumbered, outgunned, but able to pull out victory by being clever. And I think that's a great theme to do. I love the idea of a challenge. People have been saying it's going to be really hard to master the Harlequins and so on, but that's part of the reward, I think, for collecting them, is trying to master them and make a good army out of them. So that's the plan. I'm going to tell you some ideas, and then you can leave some feedback about those ideas, and then share any other tricks and tips that you use. Maybe you're watching this video and you collect Harlequins, maybe you've played Harlequins for years, or maybe you're new to it and you know some tricks and things that you use that help Harlequins and make them better. You know, they're toughness free, a lot of them. They've got no monstrous creatures, got no flyers. Their best save usually is a 5+ invuln, and that's it. So they're so vulnerable. Their vehicles are all armor 10. All their vehicles are 2 hull points, so their perception is they're extremely weak. So what can be done to make them better? And the key question I've been trying to deal with is how can I make them durable, that they don't just collapse just under the weight of firepower and overwhelmed with numbers. I think I've got a few tricks that can help with that. And if they're legal, if they're good, if they're fine by the rules, then they are pretty effective, I think. So that's what we're going to get into, and then you can leave your comments as well. Right, so the philosophy for the army, I'll talk about this in the army development video on the Plus channel, is an army that's going to move up to mid-table rapidly, because pretty much all the weapons are range 24. So I want to move up to the middle of the table without fear. So they've got to have decent combat. Move up to the middle of the table, lay down a saturation of firepower, and then charge in. And we've got to be pretty quick about it. So the issues to be dealt with then is firepower. You want to equip them with enough firepower to cause some disruption and trouble, so your opponent's not firing back at you at full strength. And then also to equip them decently for combat, and then also to try and protect them so they don't just fold and collapse when the opponent returns fire. If the opponent goes first, or you move up and then he goes and shoots and just blows the Harlequins away. You know, every model that's lost for Harlequins is going to cause you trouble, because it's just not going to have many models, so casualties are a real issue for them. So I think, and you may disagree with this, but I think the strength that I'm going to emphasize for this army is the jetbikes. Some people are not going to agree with this, but I think some of the tricks that I've got for them means that that will be the strength for the Harlequins. But you'll see as I explain as we go on. So we'll just turn out the jetbikes here. Now they're one of the most, well, not one of, all the units are vulnerable. These are vulnerable as well. They're 50 points a time, so this is a lot of points each here. They are 2 wounds, which is great. They can absorb some damage. They're only toughness 4, which is okay. It's better than toughness 3. 4-up save, so that's okay, but they're going to fail that half the time. So tactical squad could just blow away a load of these just with bolt of fire. Yes, you could jink, but again, it's just a 4-up save, so you're going to lose these easily. But there's so much potential in these. They're initiative 6, they got 3 attacks, they're leadership 9, weapon skill 5, wounds there can absorb trouble, and then we've got a few extra bits for them. Just going to cover these. They've got hollow suit, so they actually come with a 5-up invuln. The formation that I'm taking, the Revenge, Hegarak's Revenge, gives them reroll 1s, so they're on 5-up invuln rerolling 1s. They have Star Bowlers here, which is an incredibly awesome weapon. This is why I want to take advantage of these. Star Bowlers, range 12, strength 6, AP2 blast. Fantastic weapon. Decimate a unit of Terminators or Marines. And you've got a number of jetbikes, chucking those things in. Brilliant. That's this star-shaped, this thing that they whiz round and then throw and it explodes. They've got Mirage launchers on page 92. Once per game, so you get to activate this once. Instead of jinking, so you want to keep them, you're at a point where you think, I need to fire next turn, I don't want to use my jink, don't want to be on snapshots, so I'm going to use Mirage launchers. If the entire unit is composed of models with Mirage launchers, you can trigger them if they're selected as the target of a shooting attack. If the unit triggers its Mirage launchers, they all get 4-up invuln saves against shooting attacks. So 4-up invuln, remember you get reroll 1s as well, so it's a pretty reliable invuln save. It's not too bad at all. And you've got to remember they're at toughness 4, so it's going to have to be strength 8 and upwards to cause instant death for those 2 wounds. They can absorb a bit, but still they do need help. They have fear, so opponent's got a roll leadership test there. They've got furious charge, so they're on +1 strength on the charge. And whoa, furious charge and hit and run. So if they find themselves in trouble, they can pull out, and they're initiative 6, so real potential with them. Their standard weaponry is the Jetbike. Now that comes with a shuriken cannon underneath, so it's strength 6, 3 shots, and then AP 5, and then any 6s to wound is AP 2, so pretty decent. Shooting up transport vehicles, for example, armour 10. But here's some upgrades you can take. Any model may replace their Star Bowlers with Zephyr Glaive, page 91. For 10 points, you're swapping out the blast weapon, which is decent enough, but Zephyr Glaive is +1 strength. So on the charge, they're strength 3, +1 strength for furious charge, and then +1 strength with the first round of combat. So you'll be on strength 5 with them on the charge, and it's AP2 on the turn that you charge. Strength 5, AP2 melee. And remember, they have 3 attacks, so 4 attacks on the charge. A unit of 3 of these, 12 attacks at weapon skill 5, strength 5, AP2 is nice. The turn after that, and this is why hit and run's helpful, the turn after that, so they only go down to strength of the user, so suddenly they drop to strength 3 and AP 3, so nowhere near as good. So it's a unit you want to charge in, pull out, that kind of thing. So the whole problem with these, which puts people off from taking them, is they just get shot up. You know, they're high value points, opponent targets them, yes they pass some saves, some jinx, but they just gradually get brought down by standard weaponry and they're gone. So, to combat that is this book here, the Death Mask book, is the way just to make these utterly amazing, so which is what I'm going to show you next. So some of you watching this will know what you can do. One of the formations in here, so this is some of the tricks to make these better. You can take the Fao Choose Blade. All units, you have to take 2 units of Skyweavers. You take them and then all units get rerollable jinx. So now they have a 4+ rerollable jink. So that's a bit more durability for them. Handy for a combat unit. Give them Zephyr Glaives, they're moving up, opponent charges, 4-up jink, rerolling fails. Now you're sort of 75% chance of passing, keeping them alive, and that really helps. I thought, yeah, that's okay, it's alright, but is there anything else you can do? Is there anything that can be done to make them any better? I think the answer is contained in here. Maybe, probably some of you have seen this already. The answer is here in Inrium's Spectre. There's two I'm going to show you. The first one's Inrium's Spectre. So this guy is a Death Jester, 70 points. So what's crucial about him, despite all the other things that he comes with, what's crucial for him is he comes with Shrouded. So let me look up Shrouded in the book. And it's just here. A unit that contains, just to cover this, just correct me if I'm wrong, this is part of the point of the video. So say you're taking a unit of these bikes, again I've just constructed them, they're utterly beautiful models, really nice, and they're a big jet bike. So there's 1, there's 2, gone for unit of 2, and you've got Zephyr Glaives and so on for these. So then you have independent characters. So you've got him, Inrium Spectre, he counts as an independent character. Here, independent character. So he then is allowed to join Jetbikes, even though it's a different unit type. They're Jetbikes, he's infantry. As far as I'm aware, he's still allowed to join them. But some restrictions will apply for using this guy. It will affect the Jetbikes, but I think it's a decent enough trade-off. So he then joins the unit, independent character. He's allowed to, as far as I'm aware. But you then have to check all of the different rules to see what you can and can't do, because you've got a mixed unit. But just with Shrouded is the first one we'll check. So a unit that contains at least 1 model with this special rule, so only the Death Jester has it, but a unit with this rule counts its cover save as being 2 points better than normal. Note this means a model with Shrouded special rule always has a cover save of at least 5+ even in the open. Cover save bonuses from Shrouded and Stealth are cumulative. Right, but it's 1 model has to have it, he has it, and he confers it upon the whole unit. Now, that's not so amazing if these guys stand still, but the moment they jink, their 4+ cover save, because of him being present, becomes a 2+ cover save, and then this is where it gets even better. If you take that formation where you can reroll jinx, or you take this Blades of Fate, which is what this unit is, because I'm going to have a number of Jetbike units. If you take this formation here, the rule says Fortune's Fate, you can reroll failed jinx saves for models in this unit. So that means these guys get a 2+ rerollable jink. So 2+ jink, if you roll a 1, you reroll, and you need a 2+ again. That is about as good as it gets. Then people say, well, what if you get hit by an ignores cover, like a template weapon or something like that? Those weapons aren't too common, and if you do, then that's the turn that you activate your Mirage launchers to give yourself a 4+ invuln, and then if I'm in a formation, re-rolling 1s. So you can still protect yourself pretty good even in that situation. So now all of a sudden, these vulnerable Jetbikes, thanks to the help from the Inrium Spectre Death Jester here, suddenly they become very difficult to kill if you jink with them. So this is just the first way I'm thinking of protecting these jet bikes. So number of areas to discuss on this. They're probably going to be jinking a fair bit, so that means it's better that he goes with a unit that's geared for attacking in combat, because you're restricted with firing beyond snapshots a lot, so don't fit them with weaponry that you're going to be expecting to shoot, because you're not going to be jinking. So I think I'm going to be jinking a lot with these, so therefore combat seems to be the better way to go. So if they've got the Zephyr Glaives, they can jink as they move up the table, survive, and then charge. So the idea with these is the first thing that's going to affect them is their movement. So we'll look up jet bikes just to check. So you've got to get it right here. So it just takes a little bit of research. So just going to look up jet bikes here. It's jetpack, jump units, bikes, jet bikes, right. So that's the increased toughness, right. So bikes and jet bikes move up to 12 in the movement phase, so they can move fine. He is infantry, he moves 6, so I think you're allowed to do is he moves 6. Say you're like, just to illustrate, you're something like this. Wouldn't usually be like that if you're heading towards the enemy, but just for illustration. He moves his 6, he can't move at the jet bike speed, but he moves 6 to there. So these are the jet bike types, they're able to move 12, so then therefore they can leap ahead of him right in front, but they're going to have to maintain the usual coherence. There's a bit of flexibility, you can move a bit further with these. You can maybe, for example, he moves 6, as far as he can go. This one could come out front, and then this one could come out to here, something like that. So that's just a little way of gaining some extra inches. The idea behind this for combat is that we just move 6 inches a turn, still far enough. He has the flip belt, so he's able just to move through whatever it is that's in the way, 6 inches every time, and then it slows these down, but they should stay alive a lot longer. And as soon as they come to within striking range, after they've moved up for a few turns, then he splits from the unit and these guys just shoot off 12 and away they go. It's just to guide them in towards the opponent, so keeping them alive and then pouncing, breaking off from the Death Jester and then pouncing later on. That's the idea with them. There are some more restrictions as well, so there is a trade-off. Just going to look up rules for running. Yeah, so in their shooting phase, units may choose to run. So it's not models, it's units. So I think I've got this right. No one's allowed to run, because Jetbike's not allowed to run at all. So I don't think I'd be allowed to say I'm going to do a run move, roll a dice for this unit when you've got models that are not allowed to run whatsoever. So I think the Death Jester is not allowed to run, so long as he's part of that unit. So it's a restriction upon him. He only gets to move 6 and that's it. So I think that's the correct interpretation. Another cool thing, maybe opponent tries to kill him, sees the importance of the shrouded ability with him. You get ambushed from behind. Independent character is a 2+ lookout sir for those, so they're able to swing around and absorb the blows. So that's just an idea to protect him a bit better. We need to check out Jink to see if that, a lot of knock-on effects here. Need to check out Jink. I think I've got it right that we are able to do this here. Yeah, look, see, when a unit with any models with the Jink special rule. So this unit has some models with the Jink special rule, not all of them. When a unit with any models with the Jink special rule is selected for a target shooting attack, you may declare that it will Jink. So I'm going to say yes, I'm going to Jink. The models that are able to Jink will. The decision must be made before a need to hit roll has been made. If the unit Jinks, all models in the unit with this special rule gain a 4+ cover save. So he doesn't get it because he cannot Jink, but those do get it. So they can use their Jink ability even though they've got a model in the unit that cannot Jink. So as far as the rules here are saying, then it seems fine. So if the unit Jinks, all models in the unit with this special rule gain a 4+ cover save until the start of the next turn phase. They can, but they, it's talking about the models, not the whole unit, but they can fire any snapshots till the end of the next turn. So yes, these would be on snapshots, and I think the right interpretation is he wouldn't. He hasn't jinked because he's not able to, and he can fire at normal ballistic skill. Also, what you're getting out of this is, you know, Death Jesters on their own for Harlequins. I can imagine a lot of Harlequin players get annoyed that these things move around the table and just get blown away. But now he's got a little bodyguard of jinking jetbikes to protect him. So in the early stages of the game, he's able to lay down his firepower, which isn't too amazing, but it's alright. He moves 6, he lays down some firepower, and then he's got the jinking bikes to protect him, so he's able to stay alive and lay down the firepower. And then as you get closer, he does his job of escorting them in to combat. So it's sort of a symbiotic relationship between, they both help each other out on the battlefield, and a unit that is so easy to kill suddenly becomes very hard to get rid of. And the same for these. Because of him, a unit that dies half the time now becomes extremely difficult to get rid of. 2+ rerollable jinx is amazing. So that may just well keep those jetbikes alive. It may frustrate the opponent because they're pouring a lot of shots. They are eventually going to get ones followed by ones. You get 20 hits, you save 17 of them, and then you roll 3 rerolls, and then one of them is a 1 or 2 of them are a 1. Yes, they are gradually going to get knocked down. So they're not to be exposed deliberately and used loosely in play. They're still to be protected, and so on. The other thing to check is, just thinking here, is jetbike moves. In addition to following all the rules for jetbikes, if an Eldar jetbike elects to turbo boost, you can go up to 36, and then Eldar jetbikes may move 2d6 in the assault phase, even if they have shot in the preceding assault phase, or right by deep strike. So Eldar jetbikes can make an Eldar jetbike move, so I think they're still allowed to do that. If they move out and shoot and then decide to pull back, then I think they're allowed to do that, but he obviously doesn't get those abilities. Falling back's an interesting one. If he's joined to them, do they fall back 2d6 or 3d6? I'd imagine it'd be 2d6, they go by the slowest model. And that's about it. Another interesting thing I read about jetbikes, each bike or jetbike can fire with one weapon for each rider. These are 2-man jetbikes here, so you can fire your star bowlers if you have them, and the cannon underneath, but it's an interesting point. You can offload 2 lots of shooting. So that's that combination. Going to go on to another idea for a different type of jetbike unit and a different way of protecting them, which is an idea I've thought of. We'll go on to this next one now. Right, so I don't have the models made up yet, but this is for a different type of jetbike unit. So I'm planning to take a couple of units of the Blades of Fate and stick a Death Jester. The formation I'm taking has 3 Death Jesters in it, so I've got Death Jesters to go around. I'll probably do them all as Imrium Spectres. They're all going to have the Shrouded ability, and stick them in with the units of these. There's other types of jetbike builds I've gone for, and this is more of a anti-tank jetbike, so a bit of fire support, sort of shooting power I've gone for instead of combat. So I've gone for units of 3 of these, and then have given them the haywire cannons. So haywire cannon, all 3 of them. So it's a unit of 3, and it's haywire cannon. Now haywire cannons range 24, as is most of the Harlequin shooting ability here. Strength 4, AP 4. It's not bad AP. Heavy 1, blast, and then haywire. So not bad against hordes and stuff. You've got 3 jetbikes, lay down some accurate template hits there, or some blast hits, but primarily it's haywire. And the cool thing about it is good ballistic skill. You sit that in the middle of a land raider, and then even if you scatter, because the model's so big, you should still be able to clip it pretty much every time. So it's some nice accurate firepower. You can do tricks like clipping 2 vehicles and they each get hit by the haywire. And then again, the beauty of haywire is it's 2+ to glance no matter what target it is. It can have armour 14 all round, doesn't matter, it just, the shot goes through. 2's to glance and 6 is a penetrating hit. So I love haywire, it's a cheap way of dealing with any type of vehicle. So they can plaster targets with haywire hits, gradually grind down their hull points and provide a bit of fire support. So there's some key vehicle unit. I can have a number of these jetbike units just piling these haywire hits, just grind it down. So the issue is how to protect them, because the opponent's going to see that they're a threat to his vehicles and knows they're pretty soft. You know, you get enough hits on them, they're just going to crumble. So how to protect them? I could go for this option here, put a Death Jester with them, but then jinking, problem is it is a blast weapon here for the haywire cannon, and you can't fire blast weapons if you jink. So I don't want them jinking all the time and not being able to fire. I want to have them so that they don't have to jink and can fire but still be protected. How can you do that? So have a solution for that one. First thing, to give some protection, is to take them in this formation, fail, choose blade, so they will get re-rollable jinks. That option is there for them if they decide to go for that. So 4+ re-rollable jink, but that's not going to be the primary way I'm going to protect them. So remember, it's range 24. So I think I can put another independent character with them. It's a Shadowseer. So I don't have the models here, but say there's a unit of 3 of these. Tuck the Shadowseer in just behind. Shadowseer comes with a Primaris power called Veil of Tears here. Veil of Tears, it's a blessing that targets the Shadowseer and his units. It's going to give it to the unit. Whilst the power is in effect, an enemy unit wishing to target the Shadowseer's unit must roll 2d6 times 2. That's the number of inches that enemy unit can fire, and if they can't reach it, if the distance they've rolled is too short, then they're not allowed to fire at them at all. So these jetbikes are designed to hang around at 24 inches away from the opponent. Then that makes, if that Veil of Tears goes off, that makes them very difficult to target. If your opponent wants to reply with firepower, he has to roll 2d6 times 2, and the odds of him getting 24 or 23 is very, very low, and therefore most of the time shooting against these will not be permitted. And if I jetbike and edge out of range 24, the maximum you can roll is 24, then there's going to be times when you're not even allowed to shoot at them because they're just too far away. So if he's, if I'm allowed to do Eldar Jetbike move, Shadowseer's here, so he's hidden behind a building. I move these into range 24, I offload my haywire shots, and then Eldar Jetbike move back to just beyond range 24, or something like that. It just makes it very difficult for them to be targeted. And it may come to a point where the opponent sees that they're so far away, they doesn't even bother trying to roll up to shoot at them, and therefore they're not being targeted, they're not having to jink, and they're able to fire the normal ballistic skill. Just an idea, could well work. If there's times when Veil of Tears is blocked or it doesn't go off, then I have the re-rollable jink and the invuln save to back me up. Or if it doesn't go off in the psychic phase, I can shoot Eldar Jetbike, move out of trouble as much as possible, you know, move, sort of conga line them away, tuck them behind a building and hide, just to preserve them. So sort of more of a longer range 24 support unit. Then later on in the game, perhaps you've killed some primary targets, there's not as much danger out there, I can send them in to move and fire more aggressively. Shadowseer can move up with them, again just picking off targets from range. And if I get to range 12, I've got star bowlers that I can use, those strength 6 AP2 blast weapons, the one use only, which is a pretty devastating weapon as well. So options with them. So for those reasons, those abilities to protect the jetbikes there, I think jetbikes are a real viable option if I can protect them that well. Seems to be the best option there. So they're going to be a real linchpin for this Harlequin force. Hoping those rules will find what I've gone through is legitimate. Then another cool thing is if I do put this game's, you know, I can choose where I want to put these independent characters. I may wish to just say, right, I'm going to put the Death Jester with that team, with the Shadowseer there as well. Use the Death Jester to let these guys jink, and then the Shadowseer can just, maybe he's got some really good psychic powers, he can just move in closer and just use those powers, fully protected by the jinking bikes. Again, just another way of protecting the asset just behind there, and then just releasing those bikes later on if need be. So yeah, it is trickery, but Harlequins need all the help they can get. I think there's deadly armies out there, and there's stories of Harlequins just getting blown away and crumbling, and it's put people off for a long time. So just been really trying to think of some good ways to make this army just a bit more survivable. I think these options are fine, so I plan to use them, but leave your comments as to what you think. So have I got it right? Any corrections and suggestions, then leave those in the comment section. And then crucially, if you know of any other tricks for Harlequins to make them more effective, especially survivability, brilliant combinations that work really well, things that you've seen or know from the codex that not many people know about, share it here. So this can be a place for Harlequin players to come to, or those who are interested in perhaps collecting Harlequins. This can be a place where you can come and learn some sort of deep kind of tactica for them and see the potential this army actually has. It's another cool thing, one of the subscribers on the Plus channel was talking about it on one of the videos, one of the tactica videos for Harlequins, and that was taking Mask of Secrets here, which it seems that it's popular with Harlequin players. A model with Mask of Secrets has Fearless, so you will confer that onto his unit if he joins one. In addition, any models within 12 of the bearer suffer -2 to their leadership. So, again, imagine you've got the Shadowseer in with this unit, you give him Mask of Secrets, everyone within 12 is -2 leadership, and then you start hitting them with things like this guy, who forces the opponent to take a leadership at -2 as well, I believe. And all of a sudden, really causing a lot of trouble. Let's just check. Yeah, death is not enough. An enemy unit suffers one or more casualties. You've got to cause the wound from the Shrieker cannon during the shooting phase. Must take a morale check at the end of that phase with a -2 modifier. So it's not even 25%. It's just a model dies. You force them to take a morale check. If you get within 12 with Mask of Secrets, they're at -4. So a leadership 8 unit becomes leadership 4, which is shocking. And then if they fail, the model's controlling player chooses the direction the enemy unit falls back, so you can then start to manipulate where that unit falls back to. It's good for that, the Death Jester. So you've got threatening units coming near your Jetbike, so you can just scare them away. Or they try and charge you, fear tests and so on. If there's -2 with that as well, so it all builds up. But then it also has an impact on some of these psychic powers, which involve leadership tests. They'll be taken with an even more of a difficult pass rate here. It's going to be leadership test, but then it's going to be with -2 stacked up on top, make it even more difficult, makes these powers just that bit more effective. So just another one there, a little tip that was passed on, and I've taken that upgrade and incorporated it into the list, so it's helping to build an army here. So I want to build a Harlequin army. It's very rare that you see them. It was one of the armies that actually inspired me to start a YouTube channel. Just Wargamer Fritz and his channel, he had a clown army, Harlequins, and I was always very impressed by it. It's funny it goes all the way back to then. But I want to build a pure Harlequin army and then try and make a success of it. And I think I can do it by just some clever little tricks and things like this. But maybe you know some other ideas that can make Harlequins that much better. So leave that in the comment section. I'll read those comments of interest, and then others can read and help. And then maybe we'll see more Harlequin armies, because they're so bright, they're beautiful models, really dynamic, fantastic looking army. I think it would do 40k good to see more and more Harlequin armies beginning to appear and performing pretty good on the battlefield as well. So that's the video. Thanks for watching, leave your comments and tune in next time.